We are back with set 12. Let's look at some of the notes that they have for us here because there are a couple of changes you all need to be aware of that may have not been mentioned in previous videos. So first things first, it's going to be called Magic and Mayhem. Chonk and Pengu are engaged in a magical duel at the Magitorium, and they are introducing a bunch of cosmetics. There are a bunch of system changes that we'll go over in just a bit, but let's do all the fun stuff first. So there are going to be two halves of the set. There's a first pass and a second pass, and you can get some maps, some treasure tokens, realm crystals, shards, and other cool little things. The new cosmetic map, however, is something that I'm looking forward to. It's called Le Bunny Bon Bon Bistro. I think I have to get this one because it's bunny theme, and they also have Dango spawning in the teacups. So if this map isn't made for me, I don't know what is. I don't know how much it's going to cost though, so we'll have to look into that. Next up we have is Chibis. We have the Gwen Chibi, looking pretty cool. This one is also with the cafe theme, and then after that we have Misfortune, Battle Bunny Misfortune. Oh man, dude, like how come they're making so many bunny cosmetics? This is actually ridiculous. All right. Please sub. I need it now more than ever. Also check out the website BunnyMuffins.lol so that we can all afford these skins. Well, not all of us. I mean just me. All right, next up we have Lumi and Bun Bun variants. All right, not too familiar with Lumi. Let's check out the Bun Buns. Not yet, not okay. I might do this one. So if I get this Bun Bun over here in the cafe outfit, it's going to match up perfectly with this little new arena, so that's probably what I'm going to be rocking. My old map was the House of the Bunny map from Chinese New Year a couple of years ago, but I think it's time to turn a new leaf. Next up we have are the rank rewards and more. So in the new rank season, we are going to have a rank reset, and depending on your rank in the previous season, you'll start anywhere from Iron 2 to Silver 4. This is true for both double up and standard ranked. You get 5 provisional matches after the reset, meaning you will not lose any LP for a sub top 4 placement in your first 5 ranked games of the new stage, and you'll also gain extra LP for finishing top 4. So best of luck there. Hyper rating is going to be reset to 500, so I'm actually going to do something a little different this set. I'm going to go for the trifecta or the triple crown. I'm going to try to hit challenger in standard ranked, double up, and get hyper in hyper roll. I don't know how long it'll take, but it would be kind of fun to do. So note that there's still a 24-hour period of delay between mobile and PC going live, so during that time, mobile players who have not gotten the new set yet in the region won't be able to climb the ladder on the old set. So now we have the rotating shop. It's just like the stuff we looked over before, and now we have user interface and experience improvements. So when selecting a champion augment, the ability tooltip icons for that unit will now update to show the champion augment icon. TFT champion visual quality can now be adjusted in the champion quality setting, and damage dealt to shields is now tracked in the combat recap tracker. Oh, that is interesting. You know how sometimes when you look at one of your units in the damage tracker, and you're like, wow, they didn't do anything, but you're thinking how? Because they definitely attacked something. Sometimes it was just being absorbed by shields and not counted. Now we have system changes, the actual juicy meat of the stuff. So charms are the new set mechanic. They essentially show up every 3 shops, and they are single use effects that oftentimes only last for like 1 round. Sometimes they give a little gold or something, a little perk here and there. And you could also only purchase 1 charm per round. Charms also do not appear during PvE rounds, and charms begin appearing on round 2, 1, and beyond, and they'll appear in every 2 shops. Okay, they changed that from before. It used to be 3, now it's 2, but on round 5, 1, and forward, charms will appear in every 3 shops. Okay, so that's a little change that they had from before. Charm power scales both with stage, they become available, and gold price. Along with that, some charms are only linked to specific traits or champions, so you have to field them before they show up in your shop. And charms that impact player combat must be purchased before that combat or they will carry on into the next one. So now we have leveling. XP needed to reach the certain level is going to be adjusted a little bit. Let's see where the changes. 2, 2, 6, 10, 20, 36, 48. Okay, so it's just level 9 and 10 that are going to be changed. So they're going to be reduced from 80 to 76. That's to adjust for purchasing all your little charms. Next up we have is bag sizes. So bag sizes are a little weird to kind of think about, but essentially 1, 2, and 3 costs are getting their bag sizes increased, which means more copies of these champions will exist in the shared champion pool. It should help reroll a ton, but I will note that they added 1 additional 1 cost champion. They actually talk about it down here. So instead of 13 1 cost champions, we have 14. So I'd say 1 cost, it's like not too easy to hit compared to before, but probably a tiny bit easier, but 2 and 3 costs are definitely going to be a bit easier to hit. Oddly enough, they're not changing 4 costs. I feel like 4 costs are a bit too difficult to hit if they are being contested. I like the old pools of 4 costs before they reduced it down to 10. It felt a lot better for me, but I'm sure they have the reasons to kind of do that. Mana is going to be changed a bit. So essentially, mana gained above max mana from sources besides taking damage is now granted after the cast. So if you have a Spear of Shojin, you're getting 15 mana and you have 40 mana, you'll go from 15 mana on the first attack, 30 on the next one, and then 45 on the third one. Before, you would lose that extra 5, but now you keep that extra 5 and apply it to your next cast. So that's a very nice change there. And shielded units now gain the correct amount of mana from taking damage. Previously, they gained much less than intended. And note that units are mana locked when self-shielded, so this mainly affects items like Locket of the Iron Solari and Crown Guard. That means if you gain a shield from your ability, you're still mana locked, but if you gain a shield ability from like a trait, from an item, or maybe some augment, you should be getting more mana now. So now onto monsters, PvE, and golems. Standard PvE monsters are now inspectable: minions, Krugs, Merkwolves, Razorbeaks, Elder Dragon, and Rift Herald. However, Scuttle Crabs are not inspectable because they do not wish to be perceived and do not have splash art. Hilarious. Elder Dragon health is going to be dropped down a bit. Armor and MR are going to be bumped up to compensate. Minions getting 10 MR for some reason. Let's see, Merkwolves, buff of health. Small Wolves, buff of health also, but lowering armor, raising magic resist. Razorbeak's armor going to be bumped up, same with MR. And then Rift Herald no longer takes 20% less damage from attacks, and Rift Herald's getting a bunch of armor and MR to compensate. All Sentinels have been renamed to Golems, and then now onto the large changes. Large, like the new roster of magical traits and champions coming in with Magic and Mayhem. Alright, let's go into the remove portals. They are removing Vendor Sentinels, Lethal Legends, and Larger Legends. And then now for new portals, they're introducing Treasure Golems. Start with a Golem permanently equipped with an unstable treasure chest. At stage 3-5, the Golem equips another one, and this will be on stage 7-1 in Hyper Roll. Overachievers, powerful charms may appear earlier in the game. Cast Fest, charms cost 50% less this game. I like this one a lot. Loaded carousels, champions on the carousel hold 2 items instead of 1, and then now Treasure Armory on stage 4-7, choose a 5-piece package of powerful loot, and that's going to be on 8-1 for Hyper Roll. And then Trainer Sentinels has been renamed to Trainer Golems. Now let's move on into the augment cycling. So they like remove a bunch of augments and add a bunch of new ones each year or each set, and so they're getting rid of Switching Gears, Harmoses, Healing Orbs, Best Friends, Pick of the Litter, Gargantuan Resolve, Fully Adapted, Heavy Hitters, Buried Treasures, Cybernetics, Idealism, Harmoses, Healing Orbs, Lucky Streak, Shock Treatment, Cut Above, Stationary, Jeweled Lotus, Gifts from the Fallen, Know Your Enemy, Best Friends, tons of stats, low interest rates, Dynamic Duo, Too Much Candy, Cybernetics again, Trash to Treasure, 2-for-1, Harmoses, Starter Kit, Overwhelming Force, Unleash Arcana, Stationary Support, Salvage Bin, Jeweled Lotus, Baboom, Hedge Fund, and Accomplice. They're actually keeping the first Hedge Fund, they're just removing the plus and the plus one. And now for returning augments, we have Pandora's Bench, Spoils of War, AFK, my personal favorite, What the Forge, another fun one, and At What Cost. Now they also have a bunch of new augments, and they have over 140 of them, so they won't list them all here because a lot of them are trait related, but we'll be going over all of these in the future. Now onto core and radiant items, we have Warmogs being adjusted a bit. It's going to be buffed up for the bonus health, same for both the regular and radiant versions. And now for artifacts, Diamond Hands has been removed from the artifact pool, and then Mogul's Mail is returning. Mogul's Mail is also a little bit different now. After reaching max stacks, which I believe is 30, no, it's going to be 40 to 35. Continue gaining 1 gold every 6 seconds, and then health per stack is going to be 6 to 7, and also the gold on max stacks is going to be changed from 2 to 1. So essentially, you reach max stacks, you get 1 bonus gold, and then every 6 seconds after reaching that, you gain 1 additional gold. So it's really good to have like a really super tank that just lives the whole round and you get a ton of gold that way. That's probably going to be the best way to use this. Now onto support items. They're reworking Needlessly Big Gem, 300 to 250 health. It's also no longer unique, and now your team deals 10% bonus damage. Each second the holder is alive, your team deals an additional 1% bonus damage up to a total of 25. Reworking the sprite, combat start, the holder and all adjacent allies gain 20% attack damage and ability power. When this unit dies, stun all enemies within 2 hexes for 2 seconds. Pretty cool effect, definitely a great support item there. And now onto bug fixes. Sands of Shurima and Touch of the Void arenas no longer show the mobile versions of the splash art in loadout. We fix a VFX glitch seen when scouting with the Shrine of the First Lance arena. And then Chop Chop, Gwen no longer clips into scissors when doing taunt emote while scouting. And then we fix some VFX issues with Battle Academia arena when it transforms. Fix a few chibi booms and some residual shadows when scouting back and forth between Tournaments of Souls and Mecha Prime Zero arenas. You know what that reminds me of? That's kind of sad. So there is a bug with the arena that I use, the House of the Golden Rabbit, and they finally fixed it last set, even though it's existed for like a year or two already. But now I have to get a new arena, so they finally fixed it, but now I have to use something else. A little bit unfortunate, but let me know down below what you think of the new set. What are you most excited of about it? What are you most suspicious of? And whether you're getting any of the new cosmetics. But we're going to be coming out with a bunch of guides in the next couple of days, both for beginner, intermediate, and advanced players. And also we have the meta snapshot coming on Friday, as it always does. But that's going to be it for me today. Hopefully you all enjoyed this little preview, and I'll see you all tomorrow.